Hi, this is Nancy with Life's Blessings. I hope you're doing well today. I just wanted to give a quick update on our homeschool year and how things are going for the school year 2019-2020. We are technically still on break. This is Friday, September the 6th, I believe. Yes. September the 6th. Had to check my calendar and make sure which day it was. Alright, so this is a pre-recorded video. This is September the 6th on Friday, and we have been on break since last Thursday, August the 29th. And that was our 9th week of homeschool, so now we're in our 10th week of homeschool. Last year, I actually took a break after about 7 or 8 weeks, I believe. And every year when I give our schedule, I always say that after 7 or 8 weeks, we'll likely take a break. Well, I didn't plan a specific week for us to take a break. And the reason why I didn't do that is because in August in our church, we have revival, and there are extra duties that are involved in that for me, and that just seems like a good time to take a break, because that's about the time that I get to the point that I can't do both. I can't work in the church and do homeschool that week. So that seems like a good time for me to take a break. That way, all my duties that I'm doing in the church does not affect my time with my children. I don't ever want my kids to be an excuse not to serve the Lord, because I've seen so many people with so many talents, so much of a gift, and they'll say, well, I can't right now because my kids are little, or, I can't today. Sorry, sister. I gotta do this for the kids. I don't ever want my children to be an excuse. So what I do is take a break from homeschooling. That way we can just spend quality time together. Every moment that I'm in the house during that, those 3 days of revival, it's only 3 days of revival, but I need a recuperation period from all the extra activities that we got. There's a lot of cleaning that goes on. There's a lot of there's a lot in the ministry that goes on that, and it's a joy, it's a blessing. I love it. I really do. I love it. And so I get excited. Every time we have revival, because I just love it. And I love serving the Lord in that way. But it can be exhausting if you're still doing everything else that you've done and then trying to do extra as well. So I try not to let it be exhausting. I try not to let it be exhausting in the area when it comes to my children. So I don't ever want them to feel neglected when I'm doing all that. I still want them to have that one-on-one time. And so last Thursday, little Joel was playing with his toys that he got. Y'all all saw the video of him opening up his toys. He was so excited about his new Legos and all that. So he stayed in the floor literally for a couple hours. He wouldn't even eat anything because he wanted to put those Legos together. So I thought, why mess that up and start doing math and science and, why? Why would I do that to him? Leave him alone and let him just be himself for a little while. Let him play, because I knew that the very next day would start our revival, and so my activities would increase in the church. And I didn't want to neglect my children in that. So it wasn't a planned break, but it was one of those last minute, the kids are fine. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Leave it alone kind of things. So I saw him playing with his toys, and I said, I'm just going to leave him alone, let him play. We had a visitor that day that normally doesn't come to our house. So we enjoyed that time with that person. And I just took a break. Didn't do anything homeschool-ish with my kids that day. We still, always do our read alouds and things like that. And we are continuing our unit study, even though we're on break. We're still doing the unit study. So we're not like on a complete break. We're not on a vacation break or anything like that. And we're not just laying around sleeping. We're still going on with everyday life, and they're still learning from that. So when I say, when we take a break after 7 or 8 weeks, or in this case, 9 weeks of homeschool, it was a very much needed break, let me tell you. I was more exhausted than what I knew. And I don't know if you're like that, but you just keep going and going and going and going. And then when you stop, you're like, whew. That's kind of what happened this time. I didn't realize I was so exhausted. And then about the time that I took the break, I was like, wow, this feels so good. And so we're not on a complete break. We're still doing activities. We're still learning, but we're not sitting down doing math sheets. We're not opening up any history books or anything like that. We are still doing the unit study. So we're still learning about animals, mammals in particular. So we're still doing that, and I consider those read alouds. We're not doing those as some big science project, like we got to get this done or anything like that, because that's not how I like to do things anyway. As much as possible, we try to remain a relaxed homeschool family. That way we're not pressured. We're not pressuring the kids. We get it done, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like so much work, especially to them. Now, it might to me sit down planning everything and going through things and researching things on the internet and whatever. Sometimes it does, get that way for me, but I try not to let it be even for myself, because that really does kill the joy of homeschooling for me and for my kids. I see that, we become more exhausted and more burned out quickly if we just rush and push and got to do this and got to do that and got to stay on schedule. For us, that's a joy killer. Now, to someone who likes to stick to a schedule and is all about planning everything, then that may just, guide you on the right track to where you don't feel that pressure and you don't feel that stress. But we are actually opposite of that. I have something in my eye. We are actually opposite of that. And so we don't like a rigid schedule. We don't like it. We are just laid back and we take things as they come. And like I say, I don't even schedule breaks. I just take breaks when I see that breaks are needed. That's how we do our homeschool. So I've had a lot of questions about how we schedule, as far as which days of the year that we actually homeschool. How do you know that you're getting in, enough days? Well, here in my state, in the state of Mississippi, all that is required of you in the truant officer's office is that little piece of paper saying that you do homeschool. That homeschool card is what they call it, the enrollment card. That is all that is required of us in the state of Mississippi. There are no particular subjects that we have to teach. I believe there is a 180-day requirement, and we do get in those 180 days. And it's never checked, though. That's never checked in my state. So I don't know how they require something and they don't follow up on it. But anyway, we do get the 180 days in. We do make sure that we have enough days in homeschool, and that is one of the reasons why I start in July. I start our homeschool in July. We take a break after about 7 to 9 weeks, depending. We'll take a 1-week break. This time it was 1 week and 1 day, because why start back on Friday? Didn't make sense to me. So we're going to wait until Monday to start back. We've got a field trip planned for Monday, but we'll still, get something. We'll still at least get our unit study or something in on Monday. And then the rest of the week we'll be here. and we will be working on our worksheets, our books, and all that good stuff. And so then in December, we'll take another break. We take, I guess, about a day break in November for Thanksgiving. Not really for Thanksgiving, but my family still gets together on Thanksgiving. We don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, but my family does get together. So, because everybody's already off work, so we will take a break that day, whatever day it is that we're going to get together, because it's not always on Thanksgiving Day. If it does happen to be on Thanksgiving Day, then okay, Thanksgiving Day we'll take a break. Sometimes we get together on the Friday following Thanksgiving. Sometimes it's on a Saturday, so we may not even have to take a break. But, you know, if we do get together during the week of Thanksgiving, during the actual weekdays, then we will take a one-day break just for that, because I'll be cooking. But and then in December, I will take at least 10 days of a break around Christmas. We will take, 7 to 10 days of a break then. And then the week of New Year's, I will take 1 or 2 days of a break then. So altogether about 10 days, between Christmas and New Year's holidays. And then we'll take a spring break in March, and that will be a week long, and then we will pretty much just go straight through May, and we will end our homeschool the second week in May, around May the 15th. I don't know what day that falls on, but it's about the 15th. Whenever that Friday is. So anyway, that's what the rest of our homeschool year looks like. That's our outlook of what our expectations are for our breaks. And there it is. We're on break, but we're starting back on Monday. And like I say, the first thing we're going to do is take a field trip on Monday to ease back into homeschooling. And not really. There's some business we got to take care of. And we're going to try to make it fun as well. So anyway, that's how homeschool field trips usually are. Usually it's business that you got to take care of. You got to do it anyway, but let's just make a field trip out of it. Okay, all right. Anyway, that's enough of that. And thank you so much for watching, and you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.